Okay. Here, another note point, tunnel is dug along the chord of a solid sphere or earth. So we have to discuss what is the nature of motion of the particle when the particle is dropped in the tunnel. We have to discuss. Suppose this is the earth or any solid sphere having mass m and radius capital, having uniform mass density, uniform volume density. Okay. So here, suppose when the particle is dropped at this point at the one end of the tunnel, actually this tunnel is made along the chord. Chord is at a perpendicular distance y from the center of the solid sphere or earth O. Now, when a particle is dropped from one end at the one end of the tunnel whose mass is small m, then because of gravitational force of attraction, it is coming like this. Of course, here you forget the force due to rotative motion of the earth. Suppose imagine the earth is at rest only. There is no spin motion of the earth. Earth is at rest. Imagine rotation of the earth is 0. Rotation of earth. Rotational effect of earth on particle is 0. Or omega is equal to 0. That means angular speed of rotation of the earth is 0. In such a way, we have considered the earth. Of course, that is the hypothetical concept, because we cannot stop the spin motion of the earth. No, that is hypothetical concept. Suppose one tunnel is made along the chord here, and when the particle of mass small m is released at this point, because of gravitational force of attraction acts towards the center, then the particle move. Actually, the particle would travel along towards this one, but as there is no tunnel here along the diameter, the component of the force acts on the particle acts along the tunnel. Due to that, the particle move in this direction. And whenever the particle is here, what is the force acts on the particle towards the center? What is the force acts on the particle towards the center? You see, from this here, when the particle is here, it is inside the solid sphere. No, it is inside the solid sphere. It is inside the solid sphere. Okay, at any point inside the solid sphere, what is the formula for gravitational force of attraction acts on the particle? Tell me, inside the solid sphere, at a distance smaller from the center, what is the formula for gravitational force of attraction? What is the formula for gravitational force of attraction? Directly proportional to y is not the distance of the particle from the center. No, gravitational force of attraction acts on the particle at any point inside is equal to G capital M small m by r cube into small r. Distance of the particle from the center is small r. No? Okay, is it correct or not? Yeah, GMR by gravitational force on the particle, not intensity of gravitational field. Suppose at this point intensity of gravitational field is Gm by capital R cube into small r. At that point where intensity is Gm by r cube into small r, if you keep a particle of mass m, what is the force acts on the particle? Means E into m. No, because intensity of gravitational field E is equal to, at any point inside the solid sphere at a distance smaller, intensity of gravitational field is Gm by r cube into small r. It is the intensity of gravitational field is the gravitational force acts on unit mass, but m mass is kept. Then what is the force? Means E into m. E into m means this into small m. That means Gm by r cube into small r only. No. Suppose if you want to find the gravitational force of attraction acts on the particle at a point here, at that point you find the gravitational intensity into m, that gives gravitational force. Okay, so gravitational force of attraction acts on the particle in this direction, F is equal to Gm by r cube into small r. Okay, this is equation 1. Here, because of this gravitational force, the particle try to come in this direction, but there is no chance for the particle to come in this direction. That's why you resolve this force into component. One component in this direction, another component is along the tunnel. Suppose if it is theta, the line joining the position of the particle and center makes an angle theta with the normal line onto the tunnel. Okay, so here if it is theta, then force, if it is theta, this is equal to theta. Then this component is equal to F cos theta. This component is equal to F sin theta. So therefore, the force acts on the particle along x-axis. Suppose you say this is x-axis, this is a y-axis. It is center O. Okay. Now the force component along x-axis is, say, along x-axis means along the tunnel. So force acts on the particle along the tunnel is equal to Fx, which is equal to F sin theta. That is equal to F means G capital M small m by capital R cube into small r into sin theta means sin theta is equal to opposite by opposite distance. This opposite distance is say x. So x by sin theta is equal to x by small r, no? Opposite by hypotenuse. That means x by small r. Small r will be cancelled. So G capital M small m by R cube into x. That here, this is one relation. But when you substitute this data here, you see gravitational force of attraction, x means, suppose the center of the tunnel, midpoint of the tunnel is here. Midpoint of the tunnel is say O dash. From O dash, this particle is at a distance x. So from O dash, this particle is at a distance x in this direction, whereas the gravitational force of attraction component acts along the tunnel is towards the O dash. Okay, that's why these two are opposite to each other. These two are opposite to each other. That's why while substituting this only, you substitute minus sign. Since x and fx are opposite. Suppose if you consider this as the reference point, with respect to this point, if the force is in this direction, the position of the particle is in opposite direction. That's why I substituted minus x. So we got minus. Therefore, for acceleration of the particle along x-axis, ax is equal to force acts on the particle by mass of the particle. That is equal to force is this one by m. That means minus g capital M by r cube into x. Okay. Therefore, acceleration of the particle ax is equal to minus gm by r cube, keep in brackets, into x. This is the component of the acceleration of the particle along the tunnel. It is the component of acceleration of the particle along the tunnel. From this, it is clear that no doubt gm by r cube is constant for the given solid sphere. So ax is proportional to minus x now. In case of any particle, whose acceleration is directly proportional to its displacement, it's a displacement and opposite to each other from a fixed point. అంటే ఒక ఫిక్స్డ్ పాయింట్ దగ్గర నుంచి పార్టికల్ యొక్క డిస్ప్లేస్మెంట్ కి ప్రపోర్షనల్ గా యాక్సిలరేషన్ ఉండి రెండు ఆపోజిట్ గా కనుకుంటే దట్ ఈస్ ద రిక్వైర్డ్ కండిషన్ ఫర్ ద పార్టికల్ టు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ సింపుల్ హార్మోనిక్ ఆసిలేషన్స్. Simple harmonic, x means already in the diagram it is there now. X means distance of the particle from the midpoint of the tunnel. Tunnel like a midpoint దగ్గర నుంచి particle గల distance in the diagram. Okay, from the midpoint of the tunnel, the distance of the particle is x. Okay. Okay, I am telling. Let me explain that harmonic motion. In case of any particle, if the acceleration of the particle is directly proportional to the displacement of the particle from a fixed point, అంటే ఈ టనెల్ తీసుకోండి, ఇది ఫిక్స్డ్ పాయింట్ అనుకుందాం. మిడ్ పాయింట్ అంటే ఫిక్స్డ్ పాయింట్, అదే మారదుగా ఊరికే. సో ఫ్రమ్ ది here the acceleration of this particle along this tunnel directly proportional to displacement of the particle or position of the particle from the fixed point. But opposite direction, minus sign represents if the displacement of the particle from the fixed point is in this direction, whereas the acceleration is in opposite direction. That's why we have minus sign. If any particle follows this condition, then that motion of the particle is called simple harmonic motion. That motion is called simple harmonic motion. That's why this particle executes simple harmonic motion. That's why this particle move to and fro like this. సపోజ్ ఈ పార్టికల్ ఇక్కడి నుంచి ఇక్కడ దాకా వచ్చి ఇటువైపు వచ్చింది అనుకోండి, అప్పుడు డిస్ప్లేస్మెంట్ ఇటువైపు ఉంటుంది x, యాక్సిలరేషన్ టువర్డ్స్ ద ఫిక్స్డ్ పాయింట్ ఉంటుంది. ఎందుకంటే డిస్ప్లేస్మెంట్ ఇటువైపు ఉన్నప్పుడు యాక్సిలరేషన్ ఆపోజిట్ గా ఉండాలి కాబట్టి ఇటువైపు ఉంటుంది కదా. అంటే వెన్ ఎవర్ ద పార్టికల్ మూవ్ అవే ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ మిడ్ పాయింట్, బికాస్ ఆఫ్ యాక్సిలరేషన్ టువర్డ్స్ దిస్ వన్, the velocity of the particle goes on decrease, and whenever the particle reaches the point here, then because of gravitational force of attraction component in this direction, the particle move in this direction. That's why the particle makes simple harmonic oscillations. This is very, very important one. Therefore, particle dropped in the tunnel makes simple harmonic motion, simple harmonic oscillations, because they move to and fro. We cannot collect by dropping the particle here. We cannot collect from the other end, because whenever the particle is dropped from this point, it goes into the tunnel because of component of the gravitational force. And whenever the particle reaches here, it will not come out to collect it, because here, whenever the particle comes to this position, the velocity becomes 0, because this distance and this distance both are same. That's why velocity becomes 0. And again, because of this acceleration at this point, you see, whenever this particle lies at this point, this distance x is maximum, no? X is maximum, that is equal to this length. Whenever x is maximum, then maximum acceleration acts on the particle towards the fixed point. That's why again they come back when it reaches the point here. Okay, that's why it makes to and fro oscillations, which are called simple harmonic oscillations. Hence, the particle makes simple harmonic oscillations. Okay. The time taken by this particle to move to and fro along the tunnel is called, to complete one oscillation is called the time period. అంటే పార్టికల్ ఇక్కడ నుంచి మోషన్ స్టార్ట్ చేసి ఇక్కడికి వచ్చి మళ్ళీ బ్యాక్ టు ఇనిషియల్ పొజిషన్ వస్తే, then we can say it completes one oscillation. Time taken to complete one oscillation is called time period. Of course, ఆ టాపిక్ గురించి ఇంకా డీటెయిల్ గా సింపుల్ హార్మోనిక్ మోషన్ లో వస్తుంది, అప్పుడు చూసుకుందాం. మనకి ఇక్కడ టైం పీరియడ్ వాటి గురించి మనం ఇక్కడ కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. ఓకే, బట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు సీ, is the acceleration acts on the particle or force acts on the particle directly proportional to distance of the particle from the midpoint of the tunnel? That is important. Suppose if you draw the graph, between force acts on the particle along the tunnel or acceleration of the particle along the tunnel, ax or fx, ఎందుకంటే ఇది x కాంపోనెంట్ ఆఫ్ ది ఫోర్స్ కదా, ax or fx కి, తర్వాత x కి గ్రాఫ్ డ్రా చేసాం అనుకోండి. x అంటే డిస్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ది పార్టికల్ ఫ్రమ్ ది మిడ్ పాయింట్. డిస్టెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ది పార్టికల్ ఫ్రమ్ ది మిడ్ పాయింట్ కనుక డ్రా చేస్తే, అంటే ఓన్లీ జస్ట్ మ్యాగ్నిట్యూడ్ కనుక ఫార్ములా డ్రా చేస్తే, నోట్ చేస్తే, డెఫినెట్లీ వెన్ x is equal to 0, x is equal to 0 means the particle lies here. A is also equal to 0 along this direction. Okay, that's why you will get a straight line passing through origin. Okay. సపోజ్ ఒకసారి వాడు ఫ్రమ్ ది సెంటర్ టు ద సర్ఫేస్ అంటాడు. ఫ్రమ్ ది సెంటర్ టు ద సర్ఫేస్ అన్నప్పుడు సెంటర్ దగ్గర యాక్సిలరేషన్ డ్యూ టు గ్రావిటీ 0. సెంటర్ ఎట్ ద సెంటర్ ఆఫ్ ది టనెల్ ద యాక్సిలరేషన్ డ్యూ టు గ్రావిటీ, యాక్సిలరేషన్ యాక్ట్స్ ఆన్ ది పార్టికల్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు, యాజ్ x is 0 it is 0. అక్కడి నుంచి ఇటువైపుకి వెళ్తున్నప్పుడు లీనియర్ గా ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి దేర్ఫోర్ యు విల్ గెట్ ద ఫ్రమ్ ది సెంటర్ కనుక కన్సిడర్ చేస్తే x is equal to, యు సీ, x is equal to 0 అంటే ఆ పాయింట్ ఇక్కడ ఉంటుంది. Of course, ఇది x is equal to 0 నే కదా ఇక్కడ. Okay, it's okay. In this way we can draw. Suppose if you want to note the relation between acceleration acts on the particle and the distance of the particle from the center of the earth. Distance of the particle from the center of the earth or center of the solid sphere. Suppose if you want to draw the graph between acceleration of the particle and this distance r. Particle is confined to move along this path, tunnel only. How does the acceleration acts on the particle varies along this path with the distance smaller? Suppose whenever the same particle reaches the point here, the distance of the particle from the center, this r is equal to y. Okay, so here if you draw the graph between ax or fx and small r is the not radius, distance of the particle from the center of the earth or solid sphere. That is important. Okay. You see, when here what is the relation between smaller and ax? First you have to note here ax is equal to minus gm by r cube into, how we can write x in terms of smaller? You see from this diagram, x is equal to square root of r square minus y square. No, x is equal to square root of r square minus y square. It is the, of course y is fixed, y is the constant value, that is equal to say d. Therefore ax is equal to minus gm by capital R cube into square root of small r square minus d square. D is fixed, d is constant. Then when r value changes, ax value also changes. When r value changes, ax value also changes. Okay, so if you draw the graph between ax and r, what is the nature of the graph you will get? If you draw the graph between them, you see from this position, when you move towards the tunnel up to the center of the tunnel, then as r value decreases, so acceleration due to gravity value also decrease. At this position, whenever the particle is here, then acceleration is maximum. You see, whenever the particle is here, this r value is maximum. R value is maximum. Okay, so I think you will get the graph like this. Here x is equal, sorry, r is equal to 0, r is equal to say d, like that. Okay, at r is equal to 0, you take magnitude of fx or ax. At r is equal to 0, acceleration is maximum. Whenever acceleration is maximum, force is also maximum along the tunnel. From that, when you move from this extreme position, when you move towards the midpoint of the tunnel, as r value decreases, you see, whenever the particle move in this direction, r value decreases, no, and here it is minimum. Okay, that's why here exactly whenever r value is minimum, acceleration is minimum. That's why you will get acceleration is minimum at this point. And exactly at this point, acceleration becomes 0, no? Whenever the particle reaches the point here, then r value, d value both are same. You see, whenever the same particle reaches the point here, from the center, distance of the particle is same as y or d. That's why when r is equal to d, acceleration becomes 0. Okay, when the particle move from this midpoint of the tunnel to the extreme position, midpoint of the tunnel నుంచి మళ్ళీ extreme position కి వెళ్తుంది. Midpoint of the tunnel దగ్గర నుంచి మళ్ళీ extreme position దగ్గరికి వెళ్తున్నప్పుడు, as r value increase, when r value increase, then what happens? When r value increase, then acceleration also increase. కానీ లీనియర్ గా కాదు, నాట్ along the straight line. ఇక్కడ స్క్వేర్ ఉంది కదా, డెఫినెట్లీ కర్వేచర్ తోటి ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంటుంది ఇట్లా. అట్లా సర్ఫేస్ వరకు, సర్ఫేస్ అంటే స్మాల్ r is equal to capital R కదా. In this way, of course, it is curve, not straight line. It is a curve like this. It is the maximum acceleration. Here, of course, both are same. It is the maximum acceleration. Maximum acceleration is there when small r is equal to, here r, acceleration is maximum whenever small r is equal to capital R. When small r is equal to capital R, then it is maximum. Okay. Of course, you don't say this r is equal to 0. If any coordinates are there, something coordinates are there. Here, when r is equal, here whenever the particle is here, r value is maximum. When r value is maximum, then acceleration is maximum. In this way, you will get the graph. Okay. For force also, you will get the same type of graph. For force also, you will get the same type of graph. Okay, but just a little bit slope may be different because mass term is also included here. No, Fx is equal to m into ax. Okay, next, what is the force exerted by particle on the surface of the tunnel? What is the force exerted by particle on the tunnel? Tell me, while moving along the tunnel. What is the force exerted by particle on the tunnel? Tell me from the diagram. What is the force exerted by whenever the particle is here? What is the force exerted by particle on the tunnel? F cos theta. Very good. F cos theta is here, no? Here, the force component, the gravitational force component acts on the surface of the tunnel in this direction is equal to F cos theta. It is called pressing force also. Okay. Shall I erase this part? Shall I erase this part? Okay, it's a very, very important one. Okay. Okay, now normal force or pressing force acts on tunnel due to particle, that is n, or that is equal to Fi, which is equal to, because this force component acts along vertical direction, along y axis, no, That's why Fy. This is also equal to N. So therefore, N F is equal to Fy, that is equal to F cos theta. So N is equal to Fy. It is a pressing force or normal force? Okay, Fy is equal to F cos theta. F cos theta means, you see, F into F means, what is the F value? At this point, gravitational force acts on the particle is equal to Gmm by R cube into small r. No, already previously I have written Gmm by R cube into small r. Okay, into cos theta. So therefore, this is equal to G capital M small m by R cube into small r into what about cos theta? Cos theta is equal to, you see, cos theta is equal to D by R we can write now. D by small r cancel. Therefore, normal force or pressing force is equal to G capital M small m D by R cube. It is the pressing force or normal force acts on the particle. Okay. So here for the given tunnel, this D is fixed. D is fixed for the given tunnel. GMM all are fixed. That's why it is constant. No, this is equal to constant. It is equal to constant. So if you draw the graph between pressing force N or Fy and smaller r x, smaller r x. X antenemo from the midpoint of the tunnel, the distance of the particle. Small r antenemo from the center of the sphere, the distance of the particle. You take any one because that x term is not there, r is also not there here. That is constant. That's why you will get constant. You will get constant. Even r is equal to 0. Even r is equal to capital R. When r is equal to capital R means the graph will be started from this point only. R is equal to capital R. Small r, you see, whenever the particle is here, small r is equal to capital R. So that point lies here. Small r is equal to capital R. At that time, the pressing force is something. As long as the particle comes down, as long as the particle move in this direction, R value gradually decreases, no? When R value gradually decreases, suppose at this point R value is equal to D itself, still the force is same. R value D ki equal aina, R value capital R ki equal aina, normal force or pressing force anedi markledu. Kabatti you will get a constant value. In this way you will get the graph. Okay, so this is the nature of the graph. Next, sometimes they may ask, whenever the normal force is this one, what is the frictional force acts on the particle? As the particle is moving in this direction, then the frictional force acts in opposite direction. ఒకవేళ ఇక్కడ స్మూత్ అండి, ఇది టనెల్ ఇస్ స్మూత్, ఇక్కడ టనెల్ స్మూత్ గా తీసుకున్నాం. ఒకవేళ వాట్ ఇస్ ద వర్క్ డన్ బై ద ఫ్రిక్షన్ వెన్ ద పార్టికల్ మూవ్ ఫ్రమ్ దిస్ పొజిషన్ టు దిస్ పొజిషన్ అంటాడు. అయితే ఇక్కడ నార్మల్ ఫోర్స్ కాన్స్టెంటేగా, అంటే నార్మల్ రియాక్షన్ కాన్స్టెంటేగా, ఈ పాత్ లో నార్మల్ రియాక్షన్ కాన్స్టెంట్ అనప్పుడు ఫ్రిక్షన్ కూడా కాన్స్టెంటే. సపోజ్ ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ స్మూత్, ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ రఫ్, then what is the frictional force acts on the particle when it travel from this end to this end? When the particle travel from A to B, when particle travel from A to B, particle travel from A to B, frictional force acts on the particle. No doubt frictional force is opposite to that one. Frictional force is equal to mu into normal reaction. Mu into normal reaction. Normal reaction means pressing force only. So this is equal to mu will be given. Normal reaction means you write this one, G capital M small m D by R cube. It is the frictional force. So this is also constant. Whenever mu is constant, this is also constant. So constant friction acts. Okay. When the particle move from this position to this position, what is the work done by friction? Means F into perpendicular. This distance is equal to, what is this distance? Means R sin theta, no? This distance is equal to R sin theta because this is R. Angle here is theta. So this is equal to R sin theta. You can write. Okay. So this is the friction force. It is about the tunnel. Next, based on the tunnel, one concept is there. Okay. Shall I erase totally? Shall I erase totally? Right. So sixth note point was completed. So now, based on this information, in our material, you can do some more problems, not only in our material, in Hissi Varma or Singes, you can do Arihant, we can do some more problems based on this concept. Okay, next, in the tunnel concept only, seventh point, no? Seventh point. Of course, it is the tunnel is the narrow tunnel only, but in order to see the diagram, it drawn with more width. Okay, but it is the tunnel only, because compared with the size of the earth, whatever the bore we made, that is very small. Okay, but in order to see the diagram, I drawn with more width. Okay, it is the tunnel and it is the center of the earth. That is the tunnel and the center of the earth is this one. Okay, now suppose when a particle is released from the point a particle having mass m, mass of the earth, suppose this is a earth only, it is earth. Mass of the earth is capital M and radius is capital R. Okay, now particle is released from the point A in the tunnel. Tunnel is made up to this one. Tunnel is made up to center of the earth. Okay, tunnel is made up to center of the earth. What is the time taken by the particle to reach the center of the earth? So when you release the body here, initial mass of the particle is m and initial velocity is 0. So whenever the particle is released, what is the time taken by the particle to reach the tunnel? To reach the tunnel, what is the distance traveled by the particle? To reach the tunnel, what is the distance traveled by the particle? Tell me. Equal to radius. Equal to radius. Okay, suppose whenever the particle is here, particle is at a distance, say y, from the center of the earth. Then what is the acceleration acts on the particle? Suppose it is r now, then what is the time taken by the particle to reach the tunnel? Tell me. It is dropped freely. What is the time taken by the particle to reach the center of the earth? Anybody else can say directly? Okay, root 2h by z means here h is equal to here h is equal to, you imagine, r, I think. Okay, Sriram. Okay, root 2h by z. Okay, you imagine this height h is equal to capital R. That is the case whenever acceleration due to gravity g remains constant, no? That is the case whenever acceleration due to gravity g remains constant. In such case, time taken to travel a distance h due to gravity downwards is equal to root 2h by z. That is correct. But here, acceleration due to gravity, while it is coming down, when the body move downwards, the intensity of gravitational field varies, means acceleration due to gravity varies, no? So at this point, at a depth from the surface of the earth at certain depth, what is the acceleration due to gravity means? Already from the center, when the particle lies here, the force acts on the particle at this point. The force acts on the particle at that point, F is equal to G capital M small m into small y, small r or small y by capital R cube, we can write now. At any point inside the solid sphere, at a distance small r from the center, the intensity of gravitational field is equal to gm by r cube into small r. I have taken this as y, this distance from the center as y, and mass m. That's why force acts on the particle is equal to capital G capital M into y by r cube into small m. That's why gm by r cube into y is the force acts on the particle, no? Okay, first you write, okay, you forget like this. First you write intensity of gravitational field at that point. At this point, if intensity of gravitational field is E, then force acts on the particle is equal to E into mass of the particle kept at this point is M. Okay, therefore, E means G into capital M small r by capital R cube. Small r means Y. Because the distance of the particle from the center is Y, no? So you write Y. Y by R cube. Okay, into small m is there. Therefore, F is equal to G capital M small m into y by r cube. It is the force acts on the particle. Therefore, what is the acceleration acts on the particle here? Acceleration acts on the particle. Acceleration A is equal to force acts on the particle by mass. That is equal to F by small m. Force acts on the particle by mass of the particle. F by small m. That is equal to Gm by r cube into y now. Capital G capital M by r cube into y. Okay, therefore, A is equal to G in this formula Gm by r cube, capital G capital M by r square, you keep aside, into y by r. We can write like this, no? There is no difference. Gm by r square means that is the acceleration due to gravity on the surface at which it is dropped. Okay, that is fixed at this at the surface of the earth. The acceleration due to gravity G is fixed. So this value is constant. That small g is constant. Small g is the acceleration due to gravity when it is released. Okay, into y by r. So from this you see, is the acceleration acts on the particle while coming down in the tunnel up to the center. Is A is constant? A is G, small g is here, small g is constant, which is acceleration due to gravity at the surface. But while coming down, acceleration acts on the particle is variable because y value changes, no? When we come down here, y value decreases. When y value decreases, A value decreases. At the center, y is equal to 0, so A is equal to 0. At the surface, y is equal to capital R. When y is equal to capital R, A is equal to G. At the surface, A is equal to G. Okay, so A is variable. So whenever A is variable, we cannot write the formula for time taken by the particle to travel a distance equal to capital R or capital H, small h is equal to not root 2h by z. We should not write. I think Sriram, you could understand this one. Sriram, if the variable force or variable acceleration is there, we should not write directly root 2h by z, root 2gh like that. Okay, if g is constant, we can write, but g is variable. Now, in this case, you see, this is a equation 1. From this, A can be written as V into dV by dy, we can write now. V into dV by dx, acceleration can be written like that, no? Since acceleration is equal to dV by dt, we know. You multiply with dy, divide with dy. That is equal to dy by dt can be written as V, because along vertical direction, in a small interval of time dt, the displacement of the particle is equal to dy. That's why dy by dt can be written as v into dv by dy. dv by dy. We can write acceleration like this now. Okay, this is equal to v into dv by dy. That is equal to, because it is in terms of y, that's why I have written in terms of y, into gy by r. Therefore, v into dv is equal to g by capital R into y into dy. Initially, the velocity is 0. When it reaches the point here, suppose velocity is say v. After it has traveled a distance equal to r minus y. r minus y. Therefore, integrate them. Integral v into dv on both sides is equal to g by r into y dy. Here, when y is equal to capital R, you see, whenever the particle is here, as it is released from this point, when particle is here, y is equal to capital R. When particle is here, y is equal to capital R, y is equal, okay, it is y only. When the particle is here, y value is equal to capital R. When particle is here, y value is equal to y, y value is equal to y only. You write y. Okay. Therefore, next, whenever the particle is here, velocity is 0. Suppose if any velocity is there, you have to write u, but it is dropped here. That's why initial velocity is taken as 0. Suppose if you project like this, you write u. Okay. So it is 0. Whenever the particle is here, velocity is say v. So integral v dv means v square by 2. Limits 0 to v is equal to, here g by r is constant, you keep aside. Integral y dy means y square by 2. Limits capital R to small y. Therefore, v square by 2 is equal to g by 2 into capital R into first upper limit y square minus lower limit r square. Okay. Therefore, okay, now from this formula, v square is equal to, here 2 cancel. We can cancel these two. G by capital R into small y. Small y, here small y can be, okay, y means in terms of capital R, how we can write? It can be written as y minus r into y plus r, no? Y minus r into y plus r. Sorry, here I think initially it is r. When it is at a distance, y value varies. Okay. One minute. You treat this as r and this is say y, because we had to obtain the results in terms of distance, because we had to find the time taken in this direction, no? So whenever it comes down to this point, here distance traveled is y. The distance of the particle here from this point is small r, say. Then it is equal to, here this is equal to small r, no? At this point, the intensity of gravitational field is this one. So gmm by r cube into small r. Into small r. So here also gmm by, just instead of y you write r, because distance of the point from the center of the earth is generally we imagined as smaller. In terms of smaller only you write. Okay, here gm by gm by r square into small r by capital R. Small r by capital R. Okay, small r by capital R. So here this is also equal to small g into small r by capital R. Small r can be written as small r is equal to capital R minus y, no? So you write capital R minus y, like that you write. Okay, now you see this can be written as v into, as the particle moving in this direction, displacement of the particle in this direction is called dy, no? That's why dy. V into dy by dt. Sorry. V is equal to dv by dx. That means dv by dy you write. dv by, that means whenever the particle comes from this position to this position, the change in velocity is dv for a distance dy. That's why dv by dy for the small displacement, which is equal to g into capital R minus y by capital R. So therefore v dv is equal to g by r into capital R minus y into dy. Now do integration on both sides. Now when y is equal to, because we are integrating with respect to y, because dy is there, no? When y is equal to 0, velocity is 0. When y is equal to y at any distance y is equal to y, at this point the velocity say y. అంటే ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఈ పొజిషన్ దగ్గరికి వచ్చినప్పుడు y distance travel చేసినప్పుడు velocity v అయింది అనుకుంటే y v. Now integral v dv means v square by 2. Even if substitute the limits, you will get this only is equal to g by r into dy. R is constant, you keep aside. Integral r into dy means ry minus integral y dy means y square by 2. Limits 0 to y. Okay. Therefore, you substitute the value v square 2 here. V square is equal to 2z by capital R into, when you substitute the limits, then you will get ry only. Here it is y square by 2 only. When you substitute the lower limit, you will get 0 only. So you will get this value. Okay, therefore v square by 2, v square is equal to 2z by capital R into ry minus y square by 2. Okay, you will get like this. From this v value, v is equal to square root of 2z by capital R into ry minus y square by 2. It is the equation 2. It is the velocity of the particle at any position which is at a distance y from the surface. అంటే surface నుంచి y distance లో ఉన్నప్పుడు దాని velocity ఎంత, whenever the particle is dropped from this point. Okay, before reaches this point, what is the velocity means? Whenever the particle reaches the bottom surface, or whenever the particle reaches the center of the earth, what is the velocity acquired? We have to find at center y is equal to capital R. ఇట్స్ చూడండి, పార్టికల్ ఇక్కడి నుంచి ఇక్కడ దాకా అంటే సెంటర్ దగ్గరికి వచ్చింది. సెంటర్ దగ్గరికి వచ్చినప్పుడు y is equal to capital R కదా, అప్పుడు వెలాసిటీ ఎంత? ఇక్కడ వెలాసిటీ సపోజ్ v0 అనుకుంటే v0 is క్వశ్చన్ మార్క్. V is equal to v0. That v0 is how much? From 2. V means v0 is equal to square root of 2z capital R into y means capital R minus y square means r square by 2. Therefore, this is equal to square root of 2z by capital R into r square minus r square by 2. That means r square by 2 only. 2 cancel, r square cancel. Therefore, v0 is equal to root gr. Of course, in order to find the velocity, this complex method is need not do, but we are having gravitational potential concept is there in next week. If you know the gravitational potential concept, by conservation of energy principle only, anywhere else in this tunnel, we can find the velocity directly. You need not do integration method. But I am doing this method in order to find the time taken. Of course, as we derived the formula for v at any distance y from the surface, just I have noted this value. Okay. V0 is at the center, before it reaches the center of the earth, the velocity of the particle is equal to root g into Kepler. So that is also important point. Okay, next, what is the time taken? We need to know from equation 2. Because our aim is time taken, we have to find time taken by the particle, time to reach center, time to reach center, t, we have to find. That is our aim. So velocity is there, no? So velocity can be written as dy by dt. Velocity can be written as dy by dt, which is equal to square root of 2z by Kepler into ry minus y square by 2. Okay. So from this dt is equal to dy by root of 2z by Kepler into ry minus y square by 2. This is equation 3. Shall I write this one? So therefore, from this formula, it is the time taken by the particle to travel a small distance dy. Then time taken by the particle to travel from this point to this point. Time taken to reach center. Time taken to reach center from surface, comma, t is equal to integral dt. That is equal to integral dt means integral dy by root 2z by Kepler into ry minus y square by 2. Ry minus y square by 2. So now we have to integrate this one. You take LCM here. Integral dy of 2z by r into 2ry minus y square whole by 2. This 2 cancel now. Therefore, integral dy by, of course, here you write r by z into 2ry minus y square. 2ry minus y square. Okay, now this can be written as integral r by, later we'll substitute the limits. First you write r by z into dy by, can we write this one like this, r square minus y minus r whole square. Can we write like this? You see, you expand r square minus a minus b whole square. So minus y square minus r square plus 2ry. Minus r square plus r square cancel. So you'll get minus y square plus 2ry. Minus y square plus 2ry. So this can be written like this, no? So this can be written like this. Okay, now you imagine this y minus r. Let y minus r is equal to, suppose r sin theta తీసుకున్నాం అనుకోండి. Y minus r is equal to r sin theta. You imagine y minus r is equal to r sin theta తీసుకున్నాం అనుకుందాం. కాన్స్టెంట్, ఒక కాన్స్టెంట్ ఇది. అంటే మన క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ సింపుల్ గా ఉంటుంది. మీకు ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ డిఫరెన్షియేషన్ మ్యాథమెటిక్స్ లో అయిపోతే ఇవన్నీ పెద్ద నథింగ్ మీకు. y minus r ni r sin theta, ఎందుకంటే డైరెక్ట్లీ సపోజ్ ఇఫ్ యూ కీప్ ద టర్మ్ డైరెక్ట్లీ ఇన్ ద డినామినేటర్, we cannot do the problem directly. That's why I imagine y minus r is equal to r sin theta, because it here r is there. Here in this formula, if y is changes, theta is changes. These two only variables. Okay, now we substitute here. Therefore, t is equal to integral r by z. Okay, here we have to find this also. What about dy value? Instead of y minus r, of course, instead of y minus r, we can substitute this one. What about dy value? It differentiate this one. dy minus dr is equal to dr. Okay, you differentiate this with respect to theta. You differentiate this one. Y is variable only, r is constant, no? That's why you'll get a dy only. When you differentiate r, it becomes 0. is equal to r is constant, keep aside. Differentiation of sin theta means cos theta into d theta. Cos theta into d theta. Now you substitute these two values in this equation. This type of problems are important for advance. Okay, you see, t is equal to integral r by z into whatever dy. dy is equal to r cos theta d theta. R cos theta into d theta. Sorry, recording is started or not? Yeah, recording started. Right. R cos theta into d theta by here root is there, no? Here root is there, no? Here I forgot root, I think. Here root is there. Here also root to z by r, root r by z into root this one. Here also root is there, no? Root is there in all. Okay. Now dy means r cos theta into d theta. Here also root is there into root r square minus y minus r is equal to r sin theta. Square is there. R square sin square theta. So this is equal to integral root r by z into r cos theta into d theta by r square you take common. 1 minus sin square theta means cos square theta. R square cos square theta. Then r cos theta we can write now. These two cancel. For this purpose, I have written like this. Okay, very good. Very good, Nana. Square root. Bashwant. So t is equal to integral root r by z. Of course, root r by z we can write outside because root r by z is the constant. G is constant on the surface. So root r by z write outside. Root r by z into integral d theta only. Integral d theta only. That is equal to integral d theta. That means theta only, no? Integral d theta means you'll get theta only. Okay. So theta means how you can write theta value? Integral d theta means how you can write? Here you see, integral d theta is equal to, we got finally integral d theta. That integral d theta can be written as simply after integration we can write only theta. How you can find theta value? Integral d theta means theta. We have substituted the limits. Root r by z into integral d theta means theta only. Of course, we did not substitute the limits. We had substitute. Theta means how we can write. From this formula, you see, sin theta is equal to y minus r by capital R, no? Root r by z, you keep aside. Sin theta can be written as y minus r by capital R. Theta is equal to sin inverse of y minus capital R by capital R. We can write like this. From this, theta can be written as y minus r by sin inverse y minus r by capital R. Okay, now we substitute the limits. Because we did not substitute the limits, no. Now we substitute in terms of y is there. So when the particle travels from this position to this position, what is the time taken means in this formula? When the particle is here, y is equal to 0. When the particle reaches the center of the, because the base of the tunnel is at the center only. Whenever the particle reaches the this base of the tunnel or center, what is the time taken means? Whenever the particle reaches the center, distance traveled is equal to y is equal to capital R. That's why you write y is equal to capital R. Suppose in order to reach the particle here, so that travel a distance equal to 1/3 of radius r by 3 radius of the earth. So y is equal to r by 3. You write here. Then you will get the time taken. But here time taken to reach this point they asked. That's why I have written y is equal to capital R. But this method is important. This is equal to root r by z into first upper limit instead of y capital R you substitute. Sin inverse y means r. 0 by something 0. Sin inverse 0 means theta is equal to 0 only now. Before substituting lower limit you put minus sign. Minus of sin inverse of y is equal to 0. Y is equal to 0 means 0 minus r by r means minus 1. That's all. Therefore, T is equal to root R by Z into sine inverse minus 1 means no doubt sine minus 90 minus pi by 2. Sine inverse minus 1 means sine minus pi by 2. Minus or minus plus pi by 2. Plus pi by 2. That is the answer. Therefore, T is equal to pi by 2 into root R by Z. It is the time taken by the particle to travel from surface to the center of the earth. ఈ మధ్యలో ఇక్కడ ఎక్కడికో రావాలనుకోండి r/2 డిస్టెన్స్ రావాలనుకోండి r/2 y is equal to r/2 you have to write, that's all. It is the common formula. We cannot remember this formula. For this weekend you may have idea, but after 2-3 weeks we cannot remember the formula. So better to see the concept, because in advance if you do one problem your rank will be reduced by 3000 4000 like that. So that is the importance of the problem. That's why here even in advance if you do 6-7 problems or 8-9 problems, that is enough for advance. No one can do everyone. Even topper also cannot do all problems in advance. Okay, which problems easy, which can be done in a given time, we have to choose that one. That is the intellectuality we have to use there in the examination hall. Okay, sine square root, where square root? Square root is there now. Where is square root? Here square root is not there, already it is over. Square root of this one means already we have written like this. Square root is not there, only for root R by Z only square root is there. So here time taken is equal to pi by 8 into root R by Z. That is the answer. Okay, the same problem may be given like this also. Time taken is equal to pi by 2 into root in terms of capital G, capital R. ఎందుకంటే capital small g can be written as gm by r square. No, small g can be written as on the surface of the earth acceleration due to gravity is gm by r square. When you write instead of small g, when you write r by, instead of small g if you write this one gm by r square means you will get r cube. Answer may be given like this also, this or this. In any way they can give the answer. In this way we have to do. Okay, next. Sometimes they may ask, whenever the particle reaches the point here, what is the velocity with which it rebounds after makes collision with this surface? They may ask like that also. ఇదే పార్టికల్ దీంతో కొలిజన్ జరిపిన తర్వాత ఎంత వెలాసిటీ రిబౌండ్స్ అవుతుంది? Suppose if it is the elastic collision, with what velocity it makes collision, with the same velocity it rebounds. If it is the semi-elastic collision or inelastic collision. Inelastic collision means, of course, actually for perfectly inelastic collision they mention. Otherwise, if inelastic collision is mentioned and E value is given, then we can treat that as the semi-elastic collision. If E value is not given and inelastic is mentioned, that is can be treated as the perfect inelastic collision. Okay. Compared to mains, definitely less competition is there. Less competition is there. Seats are also less competition, and of course only suppose for mains about 10 lakhs people used to write mains, then advance about 2 lakhs or 1.5 lakh like that. 2.5 lakhs 2.5 lakhs mains ki 10 lakhs daaka rastaru. Advance ko వచ్చేసరికి 2 లేదా 2.5 lakhs వాళ్ళు సెలెక్ట్ చేస్తారు. వాళ్ళు మాత్రమే ఎగ్జామ్ కాల్ఫర్ చేస్తారు అడ్వాన్స్ ఎగ్జామ్. this time 1,60,000 in this year. లాస్ట్ టైం 2 lakhs అంతా పిలిచినట్టున్నారు. ఇప్పుడు లాస్ట్ టైం 1.5 అనుకుంటా, ఇప్పుడు 1.6. ఓకే, రైట్ నాన్న. Okay, now with what velocity rebounds if the coefficient of recession is given as E? It is the fixed. This sphere is fixed or earth is fixed. If earth is fixed, then with what the base is fixed now. If earth is fixed means base is fixed. When the particle is released here, with what velocity it makes collision means just now we derived the formula for velocity. We derived the formula for velocity just now. Okay, with what velocity it rebounds means E into V, no? E into V. With what velocity it rebounds means when the body is dropped from a height h, from certain height, before it makes collision, if its velocity is V0, then after it makes collision with the horizontal fixed wall, fixed surface, with what velocity it rebounds? If coefficient of restoration is small e, means E into V only, no? That's why with what velocity, the rebounds velocity Shall I erase this one? Okay, here. Suppose with the surface, if it reaches this surface with a velocity say v. Previously I said, I think if you are having any idea, velocity at this point v naught, then it rebounces with a velocity say v. V is equal to E into v naught, where E coefficient of restitution. What is the value we got velocity at this point? What is the velocity we got here? At any distance y from the surface, velocity v is equal to, we got velocity v is equal to, general formula we got, at any distance y from the surface, the velocity v is equal to, we got root g by capital R into 2ry minus r square we got. Okay. We got, this is the formula, g by r into root 2ry minus r square. No, minus y square, no. Here minus y square. We got this value. And of course, we got, I think, root to gr we get now. We got root gr. At this point, what is the velocity means? I think I derived that formula also. We got root gr. You see, at this point means y is equal to capital R. You substitute here. When y is equal to capital R, 2r square minus r square means r square. R square cancel, root gr. So at this point, velocity is root gr, where v naught is equal to root gr. You substitute gr, root gr. G can be written as gm by capital R square also. G can be written as gm by capital R square. R square cancel. Then root G capital G capital M by capital R. You will get v naught is equal to root R. V is equal to, with what velocity it rebounces, or you say v dash. V dash is equal to E into v naught means root gr. That is equal to E into root. G means capital G capital M by R square into R. R square cancel. Therefore R. Since small g is equal to G capital M by R square, we can write. So this is the way. Okay. Yeah, root gr. Right. Shall I erase this total? Shall I erase this total? Okay. Next, 8th note point. Before start doing the problems in any material, first you go through the formulas, concepts. Then only you start doing problems so that you can do easily. If any different problem is there, you keep in WhatsApp group. I will explain. Actually, in the regular time, I am not able to responding properly because I am having class at that time. From 8:30 to 9:30, I have class. Okay, so advanced class outgoing for senior outgoing students, advanced class is there. So exactly up to 9:30, I am having classes. 9:30. After 9:30, I am responding for your problems. Okay. Anyhow, sorry for the inconvenience to you. Okay. Okay. Definitely, Varshit Reddy. Thank you. All of you prepare the notes for these note points properly. After you come to the campus, I will take photostat copies. Okay, right. Next, 8th one, no? 8th note point. Suppose here there is a solid sphere. There is a solid sphere of radius capital R. There is radius capital R and mass capital M, or it is a earth or any solid sphere, center O. When a gravitational field intensity in cavity, inside cavity. intensity of the gravitational field inside the cavity. Suppose a cavity is made. A cavity is made. Here it is the cavity. Actually, when there is no cavity, this is the mass. But whenever the cavity is made, then m is mass of sphere, mass of solid sphere without cavity, mass of solid sphere without cavity. Okay. Now you see, here it is the center of the cavity. Here it is the center of the cavity. The position vector of center of the cavity with respect to center of the given entire sphere, that is equal to say r bar. The position vector of center of the cavity with respect to center of the given solid sphere of mass capital M is say small r bar. Okay. Now at this point inside the cavity P, at this point P, I want to find the intensity of gravitational field. At this point P, I want to find the intensity of gravitational field. Okay, the position vector of this point P with respect to center of the given sphere is say r1 bar. With respect to center of the, this is a O dash, center of the cavity is say O dash. With respect to center of the cavity, the position vector is say r2 bar. Okay. Now what is the relation between these position vectors? r1 bar is equal to r bar plus r2 bar, we can write now. From the diagram, r1 bar is equal to r bar plus r2 bar. You keep aside. It is equation 1. Now, at this point, how we can find the intensity of gravitational field? Actually, at this point, to find the intensity of gravitational field, EP bar. E point దగ్గర intensity of gravitational field EP bar అనుకోండి. EP bar అనుకున్నప్పుడు at this point, whenever there is no cavity due to entire sphere, you find the intensity of gravitational field at this point. Because of cavity, as cavity is made, due to cavity at this point, whatever the intensity of gravitational field, you subtract. Then that gives the intensity of gravitational field at this point due to remaining sphere. అంతేనా? మొత్తం స్పియర్ వల్ల ఇంటెన్సిటీ ఆఫ్ గ్రావిటేషన్ ఫీల్డ్ ఇక్కడ కనుక్కొని క్యావిటీ వల్ల ఇంటెన్సిటీ ఆఫ్ గ్రావిటేషన్ ఫీల్డ్ ని సబ్ట్రాక్ట్ చేయండి. అప్పుడు రిమైనింగ్ స్పియర్ వల్ల ఇక్కడ ఇంటెన్సిటీ ఆఫ్ గ్రావిటేషన్ ఫీల్డ్ వస్తుంది. am I right? ఓకే. Right. You see why we have to express in vector form only. What is the reason? If you find the intensity of gravitational field at this point due to entire solid sphere, the intensity of gravitational field due to entire solid sphere is say E1. E1 is towards the center of the solid sphere. No, E1 is in this direction. E1 is in this direction. Due to cavity at this point, intensity of gravitational field is in this direction. Intensity of gravitational field is in this direction. That is say E2 bar. As they are in different directions, I am writing in vector form. Suppose if both are in the same direction, we need not write in vector form. Okay. So intensity of gravitational field at this point P with cavity is equal to, here with cavity, that is equal to intensity of gravitational field at this point without cavity at P. At P only we are finding at P minus intensity of gravitational field at this point with due to cavity. This is equal to intensity of gravitational field at this point without cavity, means that is represented as E1. That means E1 bar you write minus intensity of gravitational field at this point P due to cavity is equal to E2 bar you write. Okay. Now what is E1 bar? Tell me. In vector form we have to write what is E1 bar. At this point, intensity of gravitational field is in this direction. R1 bar also in the same direction. So at this point, intensity of gravitational field means G capital M. Intensity of gravitational field is G capital M by capital R cube into small r. That means R1 bar. Am I right or not? Tell me. At this point, intensity of gravitational field due to this sphere, entire sphere without cavity, is GMR by R square. No, sorry, GMR by, actually the formula is GMR by R square. GMR by R square. No, sorry, GMR by R cube. That is the formula. No, is it correct or not? Is this formula is correct or not? You tell me. All of you respond. Okay. So here you see R1 bar is in this direction. Intensity of gravitational field is also in the same direction. That's why I have written positive only. Minus intensity of gravity. Here, suppose the mass at the cavity which is removed is say small m dash, capital M dash. Then due to this cavity at this point, what is the intensity of gravitational field? Formula is same because this point is also lies inside the cavity. That's why inside the cavity, G into mass of this cavity, because it is a solid sphere. Inside the solid sphere at this point, what is the intensity of gravitational field? Means G into mass of the cavity m dash by radius cube by what is the radius of this one? Radius of this one is say you take R naught. Radius of this sphere is say R naught. How we can write here? You see, this is R naught. This is R naught. Okay. R naught cube into R naught cube. Okay, because of this solid sphere, intensity of gravitational field at this point is equal to gm dash by R naught cube into R2. వెక్టార్ ఫామ్ లో రాస్తున్నాం కాబట్టి చూడండి R2 ఇటువైపు ఉంటే ఇంటెన్సిటీ ఆఫ్ గ్రావిటేషన్ ఫీల్డ్ ఆపోజిట్ డైరెక్షన్ ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి -R2 బార్ రాయాలి. -R2 బార్. ఆర్ యు ఫాలో దిస్ వన్ ఆర్ నాట్? Radius of the cavity is R0, I imagine. Radius of the cavity is R0. Okay. Or any other symbol, capital R0 you want to write. If you want to write capital R0, you write R0 or capital R0. Otherwise, you keep like this only. No problem. Okay. So therefore, this is equal to G capital M R1 bar by R cube minus G by R0 cube, of course, minus means plus into R2 bar later we can write into M dash. What is M dash? Mass of the cavity. Mass of the cavity means you see the mass per unit volume of entire given solid sphere is equal to mass by volume. Volume is 4/3 pi capital R cube. It is the mass by volume is density of this one. So what is the mass of this body means volume of this cavity into density. Volume of this cavity means 4/3 pi into R0 cube now, because the radius of this cavity is considered as R0. Density into volume of the cavity, that gives the mass of the cavity, that is M dash, into minus R2. Of course, as you have written plus, then you write simply R2 bar. Okay, here 4/3 pi, 4/3 pi cancel, R0 cube cancel. Therefore, G capital M by R cube into R1 bar plus here G capital M by capital R cube, G capital M by capital R cube into R2 bar. Therefore, intensity of gravitational field at that point is equal to Gm by capital R cube, you take common. Gm by capital R cube, you take common. Okay. Of R1 bar plus R2 bar. R1 bar plus R2 bar. I think somewhere we committed mistake. Already it is there in our notes also. Sorry, here we have, you see, R1 bar is in this direction, E1 bar is in opposite direction. That's why you have to write minus sign here. We have to write minus. You see, R1 bar means this position vector, that is in this direction. Intensity of gravitational field is in this direction. That's why you have to write minus sign. So minus, here minus. Minus. So this is minus. Therefore, intensity of gravitational field at the point EP bar is equal to Gm by R cube into R2 bar minus R1 bar. Therefore, EP bar is equal to Gm by R cube into R2 bar minus R1 bar. What is the R2 bar minus R1 bar? R2 bar minus R1 bar means minus R bar, no? Minus R bar. Okay, therefore, you see, intensity of gravitational field at the point P is opposite to r bar. That means in this direction only. Intensity of gravitational field at this point P is opposite to r bar, means r bar ఇటువైపు ఉంటే దానికి parallel గా ఇటువైపు ఉంటుంది intensity of gravitational field. Okay, therefore, if you take the magnitude, EP is equal to gm by r cube into small r. Magnitude of this one means modulus of minus r bar means r only. This is the intensity in magnitude. It is in vector form. So from this, what you could understand? This is constant. Gm by r cube is constant. In this cavity, at any point P, if you find the intensity of gravitational field, that it depends on r only. R means position vector of the center of the gravity from this point. When you consider the cavity here, this is constant. So at any point inside the cavity, wherever you find the intensity of gravitational field, then the intensity of gravitational field remains constant inside the cavity. Because in this formula, GMR constant, small r is also constant. At any point you find the intensity of gravitational field, small r means distance of the center of the gravity from the center of the solid sphere. That does not alter if you find the intensity of gravitational field at various points here. That remains constant, isn't it? So from the y minus r2, where minus r, Bashwant, what is your doubt? Yeah, r1 bar is also opposite to field. That's why I have written minus. R1 bar is also opposite to R1 bar is also opposite to E1 bar. That's why I have written -1, minus here. Okay. Where arrow mark? No, here I have written only magnitude. Modulus I have taken on both sides. Then EP is equal to GM by R cube into small r. I have taken magnitude only here. Okay, Varshit Reddy. Bashwant, Varshit Reddy, what is your doubt? Minus sign here. Here at this point, r bar is in this direction, whereas the intensity of gravitational field at this point is in opposite direction, parallel to this one only, but opposite direction. That's why we got minus sign. Okay, when you consider the magnitude, this one. So from this, it is clear that when you make a cavity inside the solid sphere or solid body, then intensity of gravitational field at any point remains constant in the cavity. If in any gravitational field, if the intensity of gravitational field is constant, that gravitational field is called uniform gravitational field. So inside the cavity, uniform gravitational field is formed. Therefore, inside cavity, at any point, even at center also, at any point, intensity of gravitational field, EP is equal to constant. EP is equal to constant. It depends on, so therefore, as intensity of gravitational field is constant, therefore, uniform gravitational field is formed. Uniform field means gravitational field is formed inside cavity. Inside cavity, uniform gravitational field is formed. Okay. Okay, now shall I erase this part? Next, actually, you see, it is the solid sphere or earth of mass m, radius r. It is the center. From the surface of the earth at a distance h, one particle is there. Initially, it is dropped. Then what is the time taken by the body to reach the surface of the earth? Time taken is how much? time taken by the body to reach the surface of the earth is equal to how much? Okay, if h is by far less than Kepler, అంటే రేడియస్ ఆఫ్ ది ఎర్త్ తో కంపేర్ చేసినప్పుడు హైట్ ఈస్ వెరీ వెరీ స్మాల్, అంటే ఇదేమో 6400 కిలోమీటర్ అయితే ఇదేమో జస్ట్ 100 మీటర్ 50 మీటర్ 10 మీటర్ హైట్ నుంచి బాడీని డ్రాప్ చేసాం. అటువంటి కేస్ అప్పుడు టైం టేకన్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు ఆల్రెడీ వి డిరైవ్ ద ఫార్ములా √2h/g. దట్స్ వి నో. ఇఫ్ h is comparable with radius of the earth, h greater than r or h nearly equal to r, in such cases how we can find the time taken? Okay, in that case at this point acceleration of the particle is say a, then acceleration is equal to, what is the formula? Acceleration at this point is equal to, tell me, gm by distance of the body from the center square, that means r plus h whole square. No, r plus h whole square. Here capital G capital means we can small g capital R square we can write. Small g is the acceleration due to gravity on the surface. So g r square by capital R plus small h whole square. Okay, to find, already previously we have calculated the time taken. No, same method we have to follow. First, here variable is whenever the body comes down here, whenever the body comes down, suppose at this point the body lies in a time, suppose at certain instant of time t, the body lies at this point while coming down here. దీన్ని డ్రాప్ చేసినప్పుడు అది ఇక్కడికి రావడానికి పట్టిన టైం t అనుకుందాం. y డిస్టెన్స్ కిందకి ట్రావెల్ చేస్తుంది. ఆ టైం ఎంతో క్యాలిక్యులేట్ చేయాలి. ఫర్ దట్, సపోజ్ at this position the velocity of the body becomes say v, then this can be written as v into dv by dy is equal to gr square by, of course ఇక్కడ h అనుకున్నాం కదా ఇది. ఓకే, gr square by r plus h whole square. Okay, therefore v dv is equal to gr square by r plus h whole square into dy. Okay, now you do integration. At first, whenever the particle is here, y is equal to 0. When the particle is here, y is equal to, no, in any general case you have to write, when the particle is at this position, the distance traveled by the body is equal to y. Okay, when particle is here, when y is equal to 0, velocity of the particle is 0. Whenever the particle is here, whenever the particle comes down through a distance y, velocity is v. Now you integrate them. V square by 2 is equal to gr square is constant. Okay, this r plus h also constant. No, r plus h whole square, that is also constant, into dy, 0 to y. No, whenever the body is at a height h, when the body is at a height small h initially, whenever the body is here, height of the body is h. No, h is equal to, we can write r minus 5. This can be written as r minus 5. So that is also variable only. Here, okay, now here you see gr square by r plus h means whenever the body is here, height of the body is, this is r minus 5, r minus 5 whole square, r minus y whole square. Previously we are written like this only, you see. Of course, whole square, r plus r minus 5 whole square into dy. Okay, here r minus y is considered as r sin theta, then I substituted here. Okay, so by that method we can do. So already previously we derived the formula, no, so by that method you do. So velocity, when you get the velocity, velocity can be written as dy by dt. Dt is equal to something. By that method only you have to do this problem. So from this you have to find v first, then we have to find t then. Okay. So you have to follow that method. Shall I derive this also? No need. So from this we have to find v. V is equal to question mark. Then v is equal to, we can write dy by dt. Then dt is equal to dy by dt is equal to v. Okay. Dt is equal to dy by v. Now you do integration. Then t is equal to question mark. So here time taken by the particle to reach the surface of the earth, that is how much? By integration method we have to do. Okay. Next. Next, 10th one. 10th one, you say, suppose this is one solid sphere. It is another solid sphere. There are two solid sphere having masses m1 and m2. These two are separated by a distance. These two are separated by a distance means the distance between the centers of the two spheres. That is the distance between the two spheres means the distance between the centers of the two spheres. Okay. Here, suppose the radii are also given. In our material problem is there. In our material one problem is there. Just I will explain the concept, then you do the problem. Okay. Here, it is the advanced practice sheet exercises. In that, mass m1 is given as m, m2 is equal to 4m is given. Radius here is r, here radius is 4r given. Sorry, here also radius is r only, but mass is different given. Mass is different. The distance between these two is equal to 6r. The distance between the centers of the two spheres is equal to d is equal to 6r given. Okay, now you see the problem. Two uniform solid spheres of equal radii capital but mass capital M and 4m have to have a center to center separation 6r. The two spheres are held fixed. These two spheres are fixed. This sphere is fixed. This sphere is also fixed. These two spheres are fixed. Okay, now a projectile of mass small m is projected with minimum velocity from the surface of the sphere of mass capital M. Ikkada surface of the sphere nunchi capital M mass kala sphere yokka surface nunchi one particle having mass m is projected with a velocity say u. A small particle of mass m is projected with minimum velocity u from the surface of the sphere of mass capital M directly towards the center of the second sphere so that it reaches the surface of the second sphere. If the speed with which the projectile reaches the surface of the sphere of mass 4m is 3 into root something is given. If the speed with which the projectile reaches the surface of the sphere of mass 4m is 3 into something, find x value. Okay. You see, here it is the minimum velocity with which it is projected so that it reaches the surface of the sphere. It is projected with minimum speed so that it reaches the surface of the sphere. That is the condition. All of you listen carefully. This particle is projected with minimum speed so that it will reach the surface of this sphere. What is that minimum speed? So here you see, definitely whenever the two solid spheres are here, somewhere else the intensity of gravitational field becomes zero, no? At some point. Due to this, at this point, intensity of gravitational field is in this direction. Due to this, at this point, the intensity of gravitational field is in this direction. Am I right? The intensity of gravitational field at this point, due to this is in this direction, due to this is in this direction. Intensity of gravitational field is always towards the bodies only. Okay, net intensity becomes 0 at this point. That's why when you project the particle from this point, so that it just at least reaches the null point or this point P, then only whenever this particle actually, you see, whenever this particle is projected with certain velocity, then as long as the body travel in this direction, the gravitational force of attraction here acts on the particle is greater than the gravitational force of attraction acts on this particle due to this. ఎందుకంటే పార్టికల్ ఇక్కడ ఉన్నప్పుడు నల్ పాయింట్ ఇది కాబట్టి నల్ పాయింట్ దగ్గర E1 E2 రెండు బ్యాలెన్స్ అవుతాయి. When you move in this direction, E1 greater than E2. If you move in this direction, E2 greater than E1. So if as the particle is projected here up to this point, before reaching this point, E1 greater than E2, అంటే దీని వల్ల దీని మీద పనిచేసే ఫోర్స్ ఇటువైపుకి ఎక్కువ ఉన్నట్లేగా. Whenever the force is more, it decelerates, and even the particle does not reaches this point. Before reaches this point only, here only if the velocity becomes 0, then E1 becomes greater than E2. That's why the particle come back. It cannot reach the surface. At least we had projected the body from this point so that it reaches the point in between them where intensity of gravitational field becomes 0. So we have to project the particle, M to reach other sphere, so that we had projected the particle M to reach other sphere, to reach this null point. We had to project the particle M at least to reach null point where intensity is 0. Then the particle can reach surface of other. మరి ఈ పార్టికల్ ఇక్కడ దాకా రావాలి అంటే with what velocity you have to project? This is the point A, this is the point B, P, it is the point B, say. Then first you apply the conservation of energy principle here and here. According to law of conservation of energy, total energy at A must be equal to total energy at P. Total energy at A means, you see, at this point, no doubt it is having kinetic energy half m into u square. Whenever the particle is here, due to the sphere, gravitational potential energy is there, no? What is the gravitational potential energy acts on this particle due to the sphere? Minus g into m1 into mass of the particle by distance of the particle from the center is equal to radius only, because at this point it is on the surface. Okay, it is the gravitational potential energy due to the sphere. Gravitational potential energy due to the sphere also acts here, no? Minus g into m2 into small m by distance of this particle from the center. It is 6r. From this you subtract r, 5r. That's why 5r. It is the total energy of the particle due to all. Whenever it reaches the point P, what is the total energy? Whenever the particle reaches the point P, no doubt at least the particle has to reach this point. That's why velocity is 0. So kinetic energy is 0. Since V is equal to 0. Plus potential energy at this point. Potential energy at this point means, suppose this distance is say R1, this distance is say R2. R1, R2. Then potential energy at this point is minus Z M1 into small m by this distance. This from the center we take. From the center, this distance is equal to R1. So R1. Due to the sphere, minus Z into M2 small m by this distance is say R2. This is R2. R2 is equal to this total distance we considered. Okay. Now, here we know whenever the intensity of gravitational field here is 0, then this is one equation. As the intensity of gravitational field is equal to 0, E1 is equal to E2. E1 means intensity of gravitational field at this point due to the sphere is equal to G capital M1 by distance square means R1 square is equal to G capital M2 by distance square means R2 square. So from this we can have R1 R2 relation, no? R1 R2 relation. because m1 m2 are given r1 r2 relation you will get, then r2 value you substitute here so that you can find r1 value from this data. When you know r1 value, when you know this r1 value, then here in this formula you substitute r1 square plus r2 square is r1 square r2 square relation is there. From the diagram, r1 plus r2 is equal to 6r. This is one more relation. It is equation 2, it is equation 3. From this 2 and 3, you see r1 plus r2 is equal to 6r, no? So from these two relations, we can find r1 is equal to question mark, r2 is equal to question mark. Now you substitute this r1, r2 values here. Everything is known except u. Then you calculate from 1, u is equal to question mark. This is the minimum velocity with which the body is to be projected. That is the minimum velocity with which the body is projected. So whenever with this minimum velocity, when the body is projected, it reaches the point here, it reaches the null point here. When it reaches the null point, then velocity becomes 0. But immediately, because of this gravitational field, it attracts towards them. So before it reaches on the surface of the sphere, what is the velocity? Here, what is the velocity on the surface of this sphere? Vb is equal to question mark. Now again, according to law of conservation of energy, total energy at point P is equal to total energy on the surface EB. Total energy at point P means no doubt velocity is 0, but at this point potential energy is there for the particle due to this sphere, So potential energy of the particle at this point due to this sphere is equal to minus Z capital M1 small m by R1. Due to the sphere at this point, potential energy is potential energy is minus Z m2 small m by R2. It is the total energy. Kinetic energy is 0 because velocity is 0 on here. When it reaches the surface, what is the velocity? At this point, the potential energy is due to the sphere at this point potential energy minus Z capital M1 small m by distance of this point from this means from this 6r you subtract this r, that's of course 5r minus potential energy of the particle due to the sphere is minus Z capital M2 small m by r plus before reaches the surface of the sphere, if the velocity is Vb, then kinetic energy half m into Vb square. But while writing small m capital M, you don't confuse. Small m is the mass of the particle. So from this Vb is equal to question mark. In this way you have to do. How E is constant? No, here in case of cavity, here whenever the cavity is made, the intensity of gravitational field at any point inside the cavity, we got E is equal to something into minus r bar we got. At any point P, the intensity of gravitational field is equal to some gm by r cube into minus r bar. Minus r bar means that is not the position vector of the point. That is the position vector of the center of the cavity only. When you consider any point inside the cavity, the position vector of center of the cavity does not change, it does not change. These three are constant. That's why intensity of gravitational field at any point here, anywhere else inside the cavity, that is constant. That's why the intensity of gravitational field remains same in magnitude and direction at any point inside the cavity. That's why uniform gravitational field is formed inside the cavity. Uniform gravitational field is formed inside the cavity. Okay. 1 minute. Okay, last point. Can you spend 2 minutes? Last point. Okay, I will explain last point, 11th one. Only 1 point left over. One different problem. Eleventh note point. Okay, here suppose this is the Earth of radius capital R, mass capital M, of course. Okay, here there is a particle having mass small m. It is with the horizontal. By making some angle, this particle is projected with a velocity say u. Okay, then whenever the particle try to travel in this direction, then because of gravitational force of attraction, the particle travel along the curved path like this, and just the particle reaches, just the particle travel by touching the surface of the earth like this. Okay, now in this case, what is the velocity of the body when it reaches the point here? That is the question they asked. What is the velocity of the body when it reaches the point? I think in our assignment in our assignment it is given. In your assignment it is given. Already I sent it to you long back. Okay, yeah, here it is there. So here they asked what is the find V1. Okay, initial velocity V1 here. Whenever it reaches the point here, what is the velocity? Velocity they asked. Okay. Now you see, we can apply the conservation of energy principle now. At this point, velocity say V2, at this point, velocity say V1. Then, because of gravitational force only, it comes down due to work done. That's why conservation of energy principle can be applied. This point is A, say, this point is say B. Then, according to law of conservation of energy, total energy at A is equal to total energy at B. Total energy at A means, suppose this is at a height from the center, this is at a height, say, smaller. Then potential energy of the particle due to this earth is equal to minus G capital M small m by R. Okay, plus kinetic energy half m into, as it is projected with a velocity u, then kinetic energy, of course V1 say, then half m into V1 square. That's all. It is the total energy of the particle at this point. This is equal to, whenever it reaches this point, what is the total energy? Total energy does not change. So whenever the particle reaches the point here, potential energy minus G capital M small m by distance of the particle from the center, that is equal to capital R, plus kinetic energy. Whenever the particle reaches here, kinetic energy of the particle is equal to half m into V2 square. Half m into V2 square. Okay, here, this is the equation in which V1, V2 we doesn't know. It is the equation in terms of two new unknown parameters V1 and V2. Next, can we apply the conservation of angular momentum here or not? You tell me. Gravitational force of attraction acts on the particle towards the center of the sphere only, wherever the particle lies. Even particle lies here or here, the gravitational force of attraction always passing through center. So about center O, about center of the earth, about center of the earth O. Can we apply law of conservation of angular momentum or not? Tell me. About center of the earth, can we apply the law of conservation of angular momentum or not? You tell me. About the center of the earth means always the gravitational force acts on the particle passing through center of the earth only. That's why no torque acts due to gravitational force. That's why whenever no torque acts, angular momentum of the system is conserved. Angular momentum of the particle is conserved. That's why according to conservation of angular momentum, according to law of conservation of angular momentum, okay, whenever the particle lies here, total angular momentum of the body LA is equal to, whenever particle is at B, angular momentum LB. What is the angular momentum when the particle lies here? You see, resolve this velocity into components. If it is projected with a velocity V1, then momentum in this direction is equal to mv1. Their component in this direction is equal to mv1 cos theta. In this direction, mv1 sin theta. As the mv1 sin theta momentum passing through center of the earth only, no angular momentum is there due to this momentum component. Due to this momentum component only, angular momentum is there. Angular momentum due to this momentum component is equal to momentum into perpendicular distance. That's why LA means at this point, momentum mv1 cos theta into perpendicular distance of the momentum from the center of the earth means smaller. That is equal to LB. Last point, last one, last two steps. So angular momentum at this point is equal to momentum at this point is mv2 only directly. mv2 into perpendicular distance directly r ki perpendicular ga unna velocity agedi kabatti momentum mv2 into perpendicular distance is r. From this you will get, we got one more relation between v1 and v2. Everything is given, everything will be known except v1 v2. Here also v1 v2 unknown. That's why two unknowns are there, v1 v2. Two equations are there in terms of v1 v2. We can solve them now. Therefore, what is v1 and what is v2? We can calculate. Of course, they asked v2 only. They asked v2. We can find any one of these equations. Okay, this is the problem. In your material it is there. Today you have to do these problems. Okay, right? Have a nice day. I'm signing out. Thank you for your patience. Okay, Nana. Have a nice day. I'm signing out. About 150 students are there. 150 students are there. Okay.